When I start thinking I'm only preaching to the choir, I will quit.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. This was a week where the leftist media was a little more stressed than usual.
But man, it is depressing to think that we're just preaching to the choir. I'm not interested in preaching to the choir. And when I start thinking I'm only preaching to the choir, I will quit and do something else.
Yeah, time to update that LinkedIn profile there, Scarborough. But why are these media hosts so distressed? Well, they just can't figure out why early polls aren't indicating that Joe Biden landslide that they all believe should be there.
But there have been a lot of polls that indicate that this, if it's a Trump-Biden rematch, this is going to be a close election. And again, that stupefies me.
It shouldn't be close. I mean, they keep telling you how good things are. Why aren't you voters listening?
It should not be a close election. There is no way.
It's not happening. They can't figure out why. Well, fire up the mystery machine, Freddie, and call out all the leftist cable news panels. It's time to investigate.
Still in a dead heat with President Biden in a hypothetical head-to-head rematch, 46% apiece. Let's bring in CNN political analyst and host of the podcast, Conversations with Coleman Hughes, as well as CNN senior political analyst Ron Brownstein. He's also an editor at The Atlantic. His latest piece is headlined, Why Biden Just Can't Shake Trump in the Polls. And Ron, I think the value of this piece, and I say this often about your analysis, is you listen to Donna Brazile, you listen to people talk, and it's just this constant, how, why does this keep happening?
Hey, Sherlock, maybe it's because his policies are awful and inflation is sky high? Oh no, it couldn't be that. The leftists have many reasons, but not those. It's mainly because of all you ageist American jerk voters.
The numbers don't add up, Caddy. And a lot of Democrats are saying it's because he's too old. That's what's underlying this entire poll is Joe Biden's numbers are low because right now Americans think he's too old to do the job.
It's an easy excuse, but it's more than just age. I mean, the media just can't accept that Biden's mind often travels to places that his body doesn't. I mean, Joe could be talking about taking away your gun rights in Connecticut, and his mind just heads over to England.
All right, God save the Queen, man.
Even though the Queen of England died several months before, but MSNBC claims Biden is still...
He is so sharp and he's on top of everything.
And how could that very sharp man be in a dead heat in the polls with the man from the party that the media has told you to hate?
Potentially 46% of Americans are willing to return him to the White House. There's a real risk. And I can't believe I'm saying this, there's a risk that Donald Trump could return to the White House.
A real risk that could happen. The man the media literally blames for everything. The rain that turned Burning Man into a muddy mess Labor Day weekend? That's all the fault of Trump and the GOP.
It rained 3 months worth over 24 hours.
But when I hear Republicans say, oh, it's not man-made, it's not about fossil fuels. When Trump was president, all of that went up. The fossil fuel usage went up.
And the regulations went down.
Planet. Please don't vote for him. I'm begging you. Get him out of here.
Get him out of there? I guess he's still in office, controlling the weather somehow. They're so mentally unhinged at The View, but being mentally unhinged or deficient is probably the best way to be the host of one of these leftist media panels. First, they called it Russian disinformation, but even after it's been proven true, CNN is shocked. Just shocked that Americans believe Joe Biden is connected to his son's shady foreign business bribery deals.
If you don't answer something and if you don't push back against something, particularly something that there's no evidence of, it's going to seep into the zeitgeist.
I love just because the media refuses to cover the Biden bribery scandal, that counts as no evidence.
The bank records show the Biden family, their associates, and their companies received over $10 million from foreign nationals.
Republicans have presented zero, absolutely zero evidence.
There are thousands of pages of documents relating to financial transactions.
Zero evidence.
We've identified 6 new Biden family members involved.
Absolutely no evidence.
FBI source who has worked with the agency for more than 10 years alleges 17 recordings of Joe and Hunter Biden discussing business with Burisma executives.
Well, I mean, he hasn't produced any evidence.
Hunter Biden's former business partner, Devin Archer, testifies under oath that Biden spoke with Hunter's business partners at least 20 times times on the speakerphone.
Archer did not provide any evidence connecting President Biden to his son's business dealing.
The National Archives has identified over 5,000 emails where Biden uses pseudonyms to communicate government information to his son Hunter's investment firm.
It is important to keep in mind there's no evidence.
No evidence.
No actual evidence.
No evidence.
No evidence.
Still, it is such a mystery to the left as to why Biden's just not winning all these presidential polls. Oh, wait. They do actually have a clue. The media has figured this out. After all those cover-ups they've done for him, Joe is failing in the polls because the media is just too tough on him.
You're right. Biden considered his poor approval rating a failure of the media, which someone neglected to note all the ways in which his administration was superior to Trump's.
So I think on certain measures, he's probably right. He has been covered probably tougher than he deserves.
Yeah, media's just too tough on poor old Joe. And whose fault would that ultimately be?
Trump caused the media to become so emotional, to get so engaged in covering all of the high drama.
Right, it's all Trump's fault. Seems reasonable. I'm Eric Steiner from MRC-TV, asking you to head over to the MRC homepage and do that reasonable thing. Click on the donate button. Help keep videos like this one coming. Visit MRCTV.org for the latest videos, information, and entertainment. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to us on the platforms that let you view us. And we'll be back next week with another look at leftist media madness.